Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. First day on the job site. What we're going to be doing is a big shed pad, 12 by 20. We have a new tool for this job because we're in a tight quarters in the backyard and I can't get my 3-foot Vermeer in there. So we've got a 29-incher Tomahawk power buggy. It's electric. Nice tool. I've had it for about 2 weeks now, and I've only had to charge it once. And I've used it off and on for about 10 days. I have a new guy here on the job site. Got him from People's Ready, also previously known as Labor Ready. Call them up, give them a description what you're doing, and anybody that fits that criteria will click on the job description and show up on site. And that's what we got here. So yeah, this is not bad at all. Look at that. Oh, what a lineup. I hit that gap perfect. Now you just put your weight on it and see that? You need about, the more weight you got back here, the better. Because you can put your weight in and twist. Put your weight on it, do a couple push-ups, get a workout in.
Couple dips.
Couple dips. Let's see if we can hit it right. Oh, what a nice ramp. This is an easy job for that particular machine because it's just sod. It's really lightweight. I really took it put it through its paces on this next job that you'll see pretty soon. Loading it with I was dumping scoops of concrete into it, doing some demo, and powered right through it. But yeah, what I like about that People's Ready is you know, they're all they cover all the insurance, the workers' comp. They do all the deduction. It's like a one-stop shop. So that's why I went through that particular program. It was just simpler, faster. And if you're interested in that power buggy, check out the link in the description down below. I don't have to go down real deep on this shed pad because I want to elevate it above the lawn. I wanted about, probably on the high side of the lawn, I wanted about 2 inches above the grass. And then on the low side of the lawn, it'll probably be, 5 to 6 above, depending on how much slope is in the lawn. But I think there's about 2 to 3 inch cross slope on this existing dirt elevation and grass. So we just skimmed all the roots and all the stuff that's could potentially decompose under the concrete, get rid of all that. Set up some level lines. Then I'm going to cut a little thickened edge all the way around the outside edge. That way when he starts framing this shed, he can go ahead, he'll have something to drill into, something substantial that he can drill into, put some expansion bolts, tap cons, whatever he wants to do, he can do it without hurting the concrete. Because if you start drilling into a 4-inch slab and put expansion bolts, stuff like that, you could actually fracture the concrete if you're not very careful. Yeah, so that's a good reason to put a thickened edge. Whenever you're going to fasten something to the concrete, it needs to be a little bit thicker than a typical 4-inch. And as far as setting this up, what I'm doing now, I don't have my laser level because I lost my Johnson. That's what I was using. They actually got stolen, but I got a new one en route. DeWalt. I'm gonna do a little upgrade anyway, so that's kind of nice. Now on this setup, what I'm doing is I'm just paralleling the wall. I'm going to go parallel with the wall, and I just hung that form. That's level. I'm just using a 4-foot level. And that's about it. And that's going to work for me. Now, how I did that end, I don't even have a square out here. Actually, after I set this long one that's parallel with the wall, I just 6/8 over there, and I just swung it around to my string lines and squared it that way. Once I got that end and this long one that's going along the wall, once I got those two in, everything else was just measured off of those. Now I was just messing around there at the end, checking to see if it was still square by the time I got to back to the beginning, and it still was. And I just ran a little 3, 4, 5 just to verify. But inevitably, what I did here is I actually went corner to corner all the way, and I was only off about 3/8 of an inch diagonally, and that's pretty good in that span. So I'm not real concerned with it. So it's basic, virtually square. That's some 15 mil plastic. That was some leftover. The homeowner from a previous job I did, he gave me that stuff. So I threw it in here. Some 15 mil. Then I threw, I just got some play sand at Depot. Dumped a few bags on top of there just to kind of hold it down and protect the plastic a little bit. Extra piece of rebar in there too, and I just ran it diagonally. And that's 3/8 inch diameter rebar. Owens Corning makes it. It's called Pink Bar. Alright, this is the moment of truth. It's pour day. And going up on the truck, we had the fiber. Well, that's what it looks like when you're looking down into the back of a mixer truck. The nice thing about going up there and adding your fiber, you get to look at the slump that it's at and, just kind of verify everything before it even comes down the chute. And that stuff is coming out stiff. We're looking at about a 4.5 inch slump right now. So it's sealing up really good along the bottom of that 2x6. We're not getting a lot of excess squirting out from underneath it. Sometimes what I'll do on these shed pads, or any foundation for that matter, because they're typically level, is I'll crown the middle, just to get no puddles. You're not going to have to worry about puddles once the roof gets on there, but it's always nice to be able to wash it down and not see standing water in the middle. But in this case, I just went straight all the way across, and all my forms are in level. And when I went to saw cut and wash it down, it did hold some water. Although it's not going to matter once they get the walls and roof up, but that's the difference between crowning it and not crowning it. A slight crown, is okay. 3/8 of an inch up in the middle wouldn't even affect this, really. You'd never notice it, but it would get the water off of it. Here's a 3-foot wood bowl float. This is a 3000 psi pea gravel, plus I've got the fiber mesh added in there. That metal shed's gonna get tossed eventually after this one gets built. So on that same concrete truckload, we have a couple of driveway additions in the front for this house and the house next door. We widened the driveway. We'll show that in another video. Now right here, I'm going around the outside perimeter with a square point shovel to make sure that there's no excess concrete locking that 2x6 in, so that way I can strip it and reuse the 2x6. If you don't clean up along the edges, it's real hard to get those out in one piece. Also, if you noticed, all the vertical stakes are already removed. I just left the kickers on. So now I have all my stakes out, so they're not in the concrete, so those will all be reused as well. Hit it with the Fresno, then we hit it with the funny trowel. We are putting a 1/2 inch radius on the edge. It's not really necessary since the building comes out to the edge of the slab, which is ideal for water shedding. Now if you're framing in on this, you could potentially get water coming in and under the wall, so it's always good to build to the outside edge of the concrete and then step it down from there. The edge is nice just for stripping purposes, because when we pull the form off, it'll come away fairly clean. You won't get any chips off the edge. And then who knows? Maybe he won't use it for a shed pad at some point. Maybe he could use it for a shuffle court. So you can see where the water's standing, because I had the owner wet this down, every hour. I usually start the watering process an hour after I leave the job, and then I do that every 2 hours during daylight hours for at least 3 days. So it's quite a chore really. But you can see where the water was standing. See the rings of the hard water deposits? That's because there's no crown in the middle. I'm only going to put one cut in this. I'm going to take a chance on it. So basically we've got a 12 by 10 section, 2 of them. Because I went 4 inches deep in the middle, and we're about 10 inches to 12 on the perimeter, I'm cutting a little extra deep on this. You know what's nice about cutting concrete when you're using the fiberglass pink bar? It doesn't matter if you cut into it, because it's not going to rust anyway. Because you have to be concerned about steel. If you start cutting into your steel, now water goes in there, now you've got a problem. In this case, you never have a problem with this kind of reinforcement. But a very smooth finish, really nice looking, and he's ready to start framing on this thing. Look at that wood grain finish. That's a masterpiece. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified as soon as we upload the next one. Bye.